Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wednesday here on the Pagan Perspective. I'm your host, Eric. This week we are talking about media portrayal of the past. So this week we have a topic from Jasmine Esme. I've been thinking a lot recently about media's general portrayal of witches and Try that again. So our topic today comes from Jasmine Esme, and I'm assuming Jasmine is a female. Has said, I've been thinking a lot recently about media general portrayal of witches and witchcraft, especially when it comes to the children. How does that affect you in your daily life? I am an au pair. I don't know what ATM is, but so I walked my host child from nursery today, and somehow we ended up discussing Halloween, and she spontaneously asks me, witches are bad, aren't they? So this week we're talking just our opinions on a general subject. As I don't use the term witch or witchcraft or anything terribly overly related, I do use the term pagan for myself, which generally when that comes up in conversation, I have the opportunity to say, oh, no, 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 just because something is not Christian doesn't make it not, doesn't immediately make it bad. But I do call myself a heathen. Occasionally I do call myself a Viking. But those things and those terms come up in media very rarely. Like, for example, you did see a little bit of the mythology through the Thor movie, which I did see the Thor movie, and it was pretty good. I enjoyed the movie. A lot of people were really, really angry about Heimdall being a black guy or being played by a black guy because in the mythology, Heimdall is known as the white god, so that's almost a direct conflict with some of the lore. Although, either way, it didn't really bother me. It's a movie. But when people see that, Thor and Odin and all of these characters in the movies and in the media, especially when you see things like KKK in the news and other people who use Asatru as an excuse to be bigoted and terrible people, that kind of shows negatively on people like me. What I have to do is I have to go in, and I have decided that I don't call myself Asatru because I am not technically part of the religion. I do believe in the Old Norse gods. That does not immediately make me an Asatru. Just because you believe that the Trinity of the Christian divinity exists does not immediately make you a Catholic. Just because you believe they exist or you believe in them does not immediately make you part of the religion. So I don't call myself an Asatru, but when I do talk to people, they oftentimes immediately reference, well, aren't all people who believe that kind of racist and holier than thou and supreme Aryan race? And I have to say, oftentimes, no, that's not how it is. It's just that's how our ancestors saw things, not necessarily just like that. That if you weren't white, you couldn't hang out with us because Vikings were not always terrible, marauding, pillaging, awful people. They were tradesmen just as much as they were warriors. And that's one of the things that not very many people know because nobody is willing to look into the actual histories of the thing. And when the Romans were taking over Europe, that's what they did was they belittled all of the people who they were trying to conquer to make beat them into submission, for lack of a better term, and did a very good job at it and made all of these barbarian heathen folk seem absolutely terrible. So they played up the parts where they were raping, pillaging, terrible, destructive people, And they played down the fact that if you were willing to trade with no violence or animosity, they were more than willing to do that and then move about their business. But that's what it was all about. Viking is nothing more than a boatman, honestly. So when it does come to stuff like that in the media, especially today, it's one of those things that it does affect me in the fact that I have to quell some misconceptions and some preconceived notions to get people to see differently that I may be heathen and I may follow some of the Asatru path ideas, but that doesn't immediately make me a racist or a terrible person. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to post those in the comments section below. I'll keep an eye on those for a little while, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can and as often as possible. Thanks for watching, everybody, and of course, until next time, Odin be with you. This week we are talking about media